sejahtera to all the teachers and educators who are with us today. Okay, our official sessions will begin at 3 p.m. So while waiting, we will have a short sharing sessions with a very distinguished individual in the world of education. He was the former director of IAB, retired in October 2019, a senior research fellow, School of Education in Nottingham University, also the education program advisor for BBRP organization, which is one of our CDL coordinator. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Singh sharing insights on the topic today. 5 ways to promote leadership among students atau 5 cara mempromosikan kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar.
Thank you Puan Lily. Selamat sejahtera dan selamat petang semua. Terima kasih kerana dapat bersama dalam program CDL Connecting Dots Learning pada hari Khamis petang ini. Dan saya jangka semua tengah bersedia untuk mengundi pada hari Sabtu dan besok pula cuti ya. So tajuk kita pada hari ini ialah 5 cara untuk mempromosikan kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar. Mungkin daripada tahun 60-an, 70-an lagi kita tahu bahawa pelajar merupakan aset kepada sebuah organisasi, dan dalam era sekarang lebih lagi dengan the knowledge explosion, media explosion, informational revolution. Pelajar terdedah kepada pelbagai ilmu ya. Maka kita tidak boleh nafikan bahawa pelajar boleh mempamerkan kepimpinan mereka dalam membantu dalam pelbagai aktiviti di sekolah. Daripada pengalaman saya sendiri, saya tahu bahawa pelajar saya bila diberi sesuatu cabaran, mereka boleh menyahut cabaran tersebut. Dan untuk itu, kita harus lihat dengan minda yang terbuka. Leadership should not necessarily only come from pihak pengurusan dan kepimpinan sekolah atau guru itu sendiri. Tapi dalam era sekarang, murid boleh memainkan peranan untuk mempamerkan kepimpinan mereka. Next slide please. Dan sememangnya banyak penulisan tentang kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar. So dalam satu framework yang saya usahakan pada tahun 2021, saya tidak akan bincang kesemuanya, tetapi just one point, 3 bahagian utama yang memainkan peranan dalam melahirkan prestasi pelajar yang berprestasi tinggi dan peningkatan keberhasilan sekolah ialah kepimpinan di sekolah, kepimpinan sistem, dan kepimpinan stakeholder atau pemegang taruh. Kalau kepimpinan di sekolah, ia bermula daripada pemimpin pelajar. Pelajar yang mempamerkan kepimpinan yang saya sebut tadi. Guru sebagai pemimpin dan pihak pengurusan dan pemimpin sekolah. Dan di peringkat sistem pula, di peringkat daerah, negeri dan kebangsaan, iaitu PPD, JPN dan kementerian. Dan di bawah pula, kotak kuning ini merupakan dalam era zaman sekarang, kotak kuning ini boleh memainkan peranan yang penting kerana kita lihat persamaan. Let's look at the equation. Kepimpinan di sekolah campur dengan kepimpinan sistem, campur dengan kepimpinan stakeholder, akan melahirkan pelajar yang berprestasi tinggi dan akan membawa peningkatan keberhasilan sekolah. So kita perlukan 3 bahagian ini. Dan setiap satu tu mempunyai peranannya tersendiri. It is like these 3 parts. If it is well groomed and it works like a machine, then keberhasilannya sudah pastinya akan menyerlah. So dalam kepimpinan di sekolah, disitulah munculnya kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar. Next slide please. So dalam 5 cara untuk mempromosikan kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar. Yang pertama ialah menyediakan peluang untuk pelajar buat pilihan. Dalam apa juga aktiviti yang kita adakan, termasuk co-akademik, kadang-kala cara belajar, anda selalu lihat ungkapan yang saya bacakan, if children do not understand the way, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. Right? So, itu satu cabaran yang besar, tidak mudah, tetapi sesuatu yang boleh dilaksanakan kalau kita kena beranikan diri. Dan dalam projek-projek sekolah, pelajar belajar bagaimana nak buat keputusan. That's very important. Kita selalu kadang-kala mengagung-agungkan, kita kata, sistem pendidikan di setengah negara, pelajar memainkan peranan. Actually, kalau diberi peluang yang sama, pelajar kita juga boleh mempamerkan ciri-ciri kepimpinan. Give them a chance. Of course, kita bimbing mereka, kita beri mereka tunjuk ajar, dan kita beri mereka keyakinan dan sebagainya. And they will excel. Mereka akan menyerlah. Next slide, please. So, yang pertama, peluang untuk membuat pilihan. Yang kedua, kita tak boleh lari daripada menjadi teladan. Guru sentiasa menjadi teladan kerana pelajar menghabiskan 7 hingga 9 jam di sekolah. Dan mereka perhatikan setiap gerak-geri guru mereka. Whether we like it or we don't. So that's sebab itu untuk guru mempamerkan tabiat atau tingkah laku yang positif adalah amat penting. There is no compromise kerana kita adalah teladan. Kita mempunyai pengaruh yang tinggi ke atas tingkah laku dan sasiat pelajar. They observe teachers all the time and they never forget. So kita kena jadi teladan yang terbaik. Saya ingat bahawa kita menjalankan pelbagai projek di sekolah. Semasa saya jadi seorang guru dekat Perak, di negeri Perak. Dan zaman itu tahun 80-an, hujung 80-an, hari kantin itu merupakan satu aktiviti yang sering diadakan di setiap sekolah sekurang-kurangnya sekali setahun. Dan saya mengajar kelas, guru kelas untuk kelas yang ke-9 ke 10. Of course, they were not so good academically, but they were good in many other ways. So, saya perhatikan apa yang kita nak buat untuk hari kantin. Maka kita buka gerai capati. Dari pagi sampai petang. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita dapat tempat yang kedua, kutipan yang kedua banyak ya. Tapi itu adalah mukadimah ceritanya. Setelah saya pindah daripada sekolah tersebut, saya balik ke kampung berapa bulan kemudian, atau mungkin setahun kemudian, saya lihat ada sepucuk surat daripada bekas murid saya daripada sekolah tersebut. Dia kata, cikgu, saya harap cikgu sihat dan sebagainya. Dan dia kata, cikgu, saya masih ingat pada hari kantin, cikgu, kita buka gerai capati dan kita jual, kita rasa seronok, setiap murid ada peranan dan sebagainya. So, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, dari situ saya sedar, satu aktiviti yang mungkin tidak begitu penting bagi kita sebagai cikgu, tapi bagi murid, they never forget. Mereka ingat tentang aktiviti, kita beri mereka peranan. Dan itulah membuat saya buat refleksi tentang how the child mind works. They might not be good academically, but they can do so many other things. Dia boleh menyerlah dalam, tidak semestinya murid yang cerdik pandai saja boleh jadi pemimpin. Pelajar lain pun hebat, boleh jadi hebat juga. Kita nak galakkan aktiviti bentuk kolaboratif kerana murid kadang-kala mereka lebih menonjol kepimpinan mereka, lebih menonjol kalau mereka bekerja sama dalam satu kumpulan. Mereka tidak mahu sesuatu peranan diberi kepada mereka. Kadang-kala peranan itu muncul bila sesuatu projek diberi, projek yang berbentuk kolaboratif maupun untuk aktiviti akademik atau co-akademik. So give them a chance to form a team and to show, untuk menampilkan apa kelebihan-kelebihan yang ada pada mereka. Every child, I believe, has got something in them, right? Dan Daripada peluang itu, pelajar akan dapat mengenali apa kelebihan mereka sendiri mengikut minat dan keselesaan mereka. Not every child likes everything equally. Ada pelajar dia lebih kepada sukan, they love that kind of activity. Ada yang suka outdoor, ada yang suka aktiviti akademik, ada yang suka pertandingan, ada yang suka hanya nak buat kerja-kerja lain aja di sekolah. So kita berilah peluang, kita buka ruang dan peluang untuk pelajar kita. So aktiviti bentuk kolaboratif, ya. Next please. Dan kita nak ajar mereka macam mana nak ambil risiko. The learning experience. Supaya it's not wrong to fail. It's not wrong to take a risk. It's not wrong to make mistakes. Kalau tidak, sampai bila pun mereka tak berani nak cuba. Let them make the mistake. Let it be a learning experience. So that learning experience is the mother of all learning. And in future, they'll be more prepared for life beyond school. So beri mereka peluang itu. Next please. Kecuali kalau keselamatan mereka tergugat. Yang kelima, bengkel kepimpinan. Yes, some children have natural talent dalam kepimpinan. Tapi kalau kita adakan sesuatu yang systematic, kita adakan workshop for them, we can develop them. And let them learn without being very judgmental. A no judgment zone. Let's not be, you're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. Kita sediakan pentas di mana mereka boleh latih untuk mengasah bakat kepimpinan mereka. Maupun kepimpinan di peringkat kecil-kecilan atau peringkat besar-besaran. Give them that opportunity and they will excel. And seperti saya sebut, tidak semestinya pelajar daripada kelas akademik yang mempunyai prestasi akademik yang tinggi saja boleh menyerlah dalam kepimpinan. It can be other kids as well. So beri mereka peluang dan kita beri layanan kepada mereka without any judgment. So itu 5 perkara yang kita boleh hayati bersama untuk mempromosikan kepimpinan dalam kalangan pelajar kita. Give them that chance. I remember as a school boy, bila kita sampai ke tingkatan 4 pada tahun 70-an, kita sendiri yang aturkan pertandingan hoki 6 sebelah. Cikgu bimbing sedikit je. Kita usahakan hadiah, kita cari pengadil dan sebagainya. Inter-class six-a-side competition. Ia sudah jadi satu legacy di sekolah itu. Tingkatan 4 akan setiap tahun aturkan six-a-side hoki. Dan dari situ muncullah bakat-bakat baru. Itu semua kepimpinan pelajar. And we learn a lot of things through that experience. Next slide, please. So, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, student leadership is incredibly important for students' development, untuk perkembangan. Let them have that chance to lead, whether it's in a small capacity atau a big project atau dalam kerja-kerja kumpulan yang remeh-temeh pun. So that they take ownership, whether it's school or work related. But later part in their own life, kita sudah asah bakat mereka daripada bangku sekolah lagi. Have that faith in them, right? So saya nak bacakan satu ungkapan oleh Einstein. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge among the students. So that is the role of the teacher. And to my last slide, so tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, selalu saya utarakan bahawa ilmu itu adalah penting dan kita meneroka ilmu daripada pelbagai sumber. Buku adalah beban latihan untuk minda, books are the training weights of the mind. So we can seek knowledge from all kinds of sources. Kalau bukan saja daripada internet, daripada majalah, makalah dan sebagainya, kadang-kala sembang, duduk dan sembang dengan rakan juga, mengadakan intellectual discourse pun kita boleh dapat banyak ilmu daripada peluang-peluang tersebut. Itu saja daripada saya pada hari Khamis petang ini. Semoga tuan-tuan dan puan-puan mendapat manfaat daripada sesi saya. Sekian, terima kasih. Saya serahkan kembali kepada Puan Lily.
Okay,
Yeah,
so thank you,
yeah.
Dato, for such an inspiring sharing. So I'm sure our listeners here have benefited from the sharing, and we could conclude here that quality of the students produced will reflect on the leadership of the teachers in the classroom, and as a result, the role of teachers in human development is critical, and the role must be recognized of all educators. So dalam bahasa lain kita kata kepimpinan guru di bilik darjah akan menjadi cerminan kepada kualiti murid yang dapat dihasilkan. So oleh itu kita sebagai guru adalah penting, peranan kita sebagai guru adalah penting dalam pembangunan manusia, dan peranan ini perlu disedari oleh semua warga pendidik. Okay?
You're right.
So without further ado, we just we continue with our official session. Abdullah and Madam Elsie Sharon, CDL hands-on session coordinator for Sabah chapter, principal, head teachers, and those who participated in today's session. Okay, so welcome to our 12th sessions of Cikgu Minta Tabang, which also means teacher help teachers. I'm a bit uncomfortable because I'm having this. So I couldn't hear myself actually. Okay, the words Minta Tabang derived from the language of one of the ethnic tribe in Sabah. So this is an educational sharing sessions, which is conducted through a series of hands-on online sessions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our fellow educators, for our audience and participants' information, okay, these are the objectives CDLs of CDL hands-on. Yeah. So the first objective is share knowledge, okay, and skills. And then number 2, develop teachers' competence. Number 3, increase capabilities. Number 4, building continuous network. Okay, so these are our objectives. And then for new participants, participants must register as CDL subscribers or members. Registrations is free, so you can visit our website www.connectingdots.my. Okay, and then participant can join the session through the Zoom link on the poster, okay, which is shared every week before Thursday. Okay, sharing session will take place every Thursday for 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is from 3 to 4:30 p.m. And then this is also hands-on sharing, and e-certificates will be provided through a link given at the end of the session. Okay, and with that, I would like to take this opportunity, okay, to introduce our presenter for today's sessions, a good friend of mine, okay, Natasha Abdullah, or fondly known as Teacher Lily Natasha among her students and friends. Okay, she has 32 years of experience of teaching English subject, okay, for Form 4 and Form 5, and degree holder, okay, of BA Honours English Studies from University of Kent, Canterbury, United Kingdom. Okay, actively involved in writing and presenting of action research studies and innovation for English subject, especially related to teaching strategies to help slow learners and also low achievers in class since 2015 till now. Okay, she has won many awards of innovation and action research. She participated in national and international level, and her highest achievement is winning Platinum Award in the Fun English with LNA in 2021 for participating in international leadership in education, administration, and development. I lead. Okay, so without wasting any time, please give a warm welcome to teacher Natasha.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Madam Moderator, a very good friend of mine. Good afternoon, salam sejahtera, assalamualaikum. Thank you, Dr. Mehander, for a very inspiring sharing just now, and it is actually very much related to what I'm going to share in a while. And welcome, everyone. I can see many familiar names, and I hope that my sharing today is going to be very beneficial for everyone. And I hope it is going to be very santai-santai one. You can always ask me in between the question. And hi, Elsie from Panama. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good.
All right. Okay, so first of all, I would like to share first my screen here. So if there is any question in between of my session, you can always ask me. You can just straight away write it on the wall chat. Yeah. Okay, so let me share my screen first. So that's the title of my sharing today, this afternoon. Fun writing with me, I plus 4Cs or IN4CONs. And I think some of you have actually already joined me in between of my session, as how my moderator mentioned just now, that I have joined a few competitions, and I think it is very much related to English teaching in class. And today I would like to actually share something to do with a writing skill. Yeah. Okay. So this is the overview of what I'm going to do today. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I am hoping that everyone will be able to help the students to at least write like this, the one that I've shared on the on the wall screen, and then I will start with this. Some of the introduction, problems, objectives, success criteria, and until the end. Yeah. So let us proceed to the next one. Okay. So today's agenda actually is I know many of us out there have this problem, that is our student not really writing, or maybe they are writing but they are not really writing something that will help them to gain marks. So today's sharing is basically will be, I will try to use my innovation so that your student not only will be able to write, but they will be able to write to get marks. Yeah. So let us proceed. Okay. So before that, let me just ask some of your response on the wall group. What's your biggest issue in your writing? Maybe you can respond to me on the wall group. Yes, on the wall chat. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lilanda, for the sharing session today. Thank you. Okay. So can you hear my voice? Is my voice loud enough? Okay. So what's your biggest issue in your writing lesson? Okay. Thank you, Siti Amalina. No issue. Okay. So I can I can just proceed. Yeah. So okay. From LC, student has no idea to write. Yes. Student has no idea to write. So today in my sharing, you will be able to see how I plus 4Cs actually help your student to start with the idea, to come up with the idea, how to begin the first sentence. Because sometimes students, they will take a long time to start something, because it's not because they don't know how to do it. I think sometimes because they don't know what's supposed to be in the first paragraph, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So that is why today my sharing I plus 4Cs will help, will give the idea. I hope that it will give the idea for everyone to start using it for your own student also in the class. Yeah. So okay, students don't understand the topic. Yes, very good, Jennifer. They don't know how to brainstorm ideas. Yes. Okay. Any more? Okay, so yeah, so what we are going to see today is how my sharing, okay, will help your student to get the idea, and then to help them to know what's supposed to be in first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth. Because basically, from my experience, a good layout of an essay should at least have 5 paragraphs. Yeah. So if you can see the introduction of what I plus 4C is, I stands for introduction. Okay. The first 3C stands for content. Okay. So content 1, content 2, content 3. Because in the new format, also in the old format, there will always be 3 contents given in the question. So basically today I will be talking especially about part 2. Part 2 can also be used for part 3 actually. Paper 2 SPM English subject. Yeah. So and then the fourth, the next C stands for conclusion. So basically that's what actually I plus 4C is all about, or IN4CON. That is introduction, 3 C's for the content, and the last one is the conclusion. So it is actually a design template, okay, with sets of instruction and example, which I will let you see after this, and innovation. So to help your student to, at the end of the day, they will be able to write at least 5 paragraphs. Yeah. Okay. So if you can see on your right side, on your left side, you will be able to see how I+4Cs has progressed from with a template and gestures when I first introduced it back in 2015, and then until today. Okay, until today, which I will show in the next slide. Yeah. So I want to let you see the issue first. Yeah. So what are the issue? I think some of you already mentioned on the screen. I can see there you mentioned about students don't understand the topic. They struggle with introduction paragraph. Yes, Juani. Failure to tackle tasks. Students don't know how to arrange the content part. Yes, very good question. So today we are going to that thing. I am hoping that my I+4Cs is going to be able to answer all the questions that you have posted on the wall chat. Yeah. So the issue number one that drive me to introduce or to come up with this idea is because of this issue one. I noticed that my students are weak in writing tasks, especially in directed writing. Could not organize the content accordingly. And in issue 2, you can see they could not distribute. I think we shared actually the same problems in the class, right? So, so let us look at this. I think you will be able to see from my examples here that the issue concern me. Student can write, but it is not really enough that can help them to score. Okay, even if they are writing, it is not arranged in a way that we want them to be, so that easier for the examiner to check it at the end of the day. So the objective of my sharing today, my sharing of I+4Cs is of course this one. So you can read it there, increasing students' directed writing skill and their confidence in English subject. We will see the effectiveness of I+4Cs or IN4CON in helping students to write better essay, and then assist students to write at least 5 paragraphs. And it is also an alternative intervention in teaching, especially in directed writing. And in this case, it's part 2, because we want to push the A's and less G's in class. Yeah. So just a little bit of sharing the beginning and the and until the present of how I developed I+4Cs. In the beginning, actually, I+4Cs is comes with a template and gestures, and especially for my very weak student, it is actually my kajian tindakan. It's a refleksi pengajaran lepas for my kajian tindakan, and I developed it until today. It is very applicable to the new syllabus because if you look into the new syllabus question, they always come up with the 3 content points there, which we will try in a while. Yeah. So you can see here, I have presented I+4Cs in Masa chapter, Technofriend, and also Masa teacher international teacher showcase. And then especially in the beginning, it is especially for very good students. And then after that, during PDPR, I use it to help my students so that they will not run away or they will not forget how to write, by using a template, which you will see in a while how I tried it with my students. And then 2029 also with the introduction of with the first batch of the SPM batch 1, I think it was really helpful for them because it really aligned with the CFR writing question paper 3 format. And then you can see the letters. It's not only writing now because I can see, but my student already developed the writing knowledge and writing ability. Now they are making it in terms of they're putting it as a writing plus presentation. Okay, so there is this element of fun there, and then they are now presenting. They are all presenting their essay not only on using their textbook writing essay book, but they are now using digital media presentation. And in this case, I will show you how I use TikTok app to present writing essay. So this is the beginning. Okay, so actually Yeah, it's yeah. It's I plus 4C. Okay. All right. 4C. Okay. So especially for my very weak students, I make them do the gestures. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically how it is in a form of a template. So you can see uh, a box, a text, what is it? The essay book or the Suketas Kajang is divided into 5. Please help me by imagining that you are very weak student. Imagine you are a very weak student and you just don't know how to write. And um, what your teacher asks you to do is divide the paper into 5 like that. So that's the picture. You can see the picture there. So, some students can be very weak and then you really have to start from the basics. So that they will remember to put it into 5 paragraphs. This is what I did. Yeah. So after this, we will try the hands-on. Yeah. I just shared first how it is done so that you can imagine. Yeah. So this is how it goes actually. Yeah. So implementation can be introduction first to the steps, okay, and then explanation in the class. You can do this, and some examples of short and simple sentences. So in the beginning, of course, you have to introduce what's supposed to be in the first paragraph. So as I mentioned just now, you're supposed to put it in. You can fold it into 5. You can actually use your ruler so that student will know that, okay, you must write in 5 paragraphs. This is very important because it's going to help you to get marks. Okay. So, and then you have to explain to them what's supposed to be here by referring to the topic. Okay. So this is just to help you to imagine what you have to do in the beginning. Okay. So, and the next one, of course, this is a sample question. So imagine this is the question. Yeah. So this is the a sample of real SPM question. In the real SPM question for paper 2, usually they will always have these 3 bullets here. They will always have 3 content points. And then there will always be question on top of it. All right. And then 3 content points for you. And then of course, at the end, you have to use all, it is mentioned there, use all the notes and giving reason for your point of the question given. So basically, you will be able to imagine now that I plus 4Cs really fits the question because introduction first, and then the 3 content point, that is the three paragraphs that as I have already shown you just now, you divide into 3. And the last paragraph is especially for writing the introduction. Okay, so I proceed. All right, so basically, after you have after you have started with all that activities, make sure you use a real SPM question so that a student will be able to practice the real situation kind of question. Okay, so after that, you do the mark and check each sentence written in each paragraph, and then complete sentence must follow the steps and be at the right paragraph, and then finally presentation of essay draft. So this is the one I mentioned just now. Before this, I only asked my students to present it using their own essay book, or they can use the basic job paper in the form of A4 size paper like that. But nowadays, I have become very, I think students nowadays, they expect us to give them something that is interesting to do in the class. So now I am into TikTok, as I mentioned just now. I will share you a few of my TikTok sharing of my students. So that's what we want students to practice in the class. Yeah. Okay. So basically it is like this. Again, I show everyone. Yeah. Basically it will be like this. The one that I have mentioned just now, basically your essay must have these 5 paragraph elements. That is, I plus 4Cs really, I think, help your student to must always start with introduction. That is why you have the I. So for students who are very weak, you can remind them using the gestures, because I have experienced very weak students. When I was given this one class was very weak that I can't imagine how weak they are. But then at the end of the day, they are able to write. Of course, we don't expect them to be as perfect as the A student, right? But then they are now are able to write better. Yeah. So remember, if you want your student to get enough marks, if you want your student to have good layout of essays, make sure they will write first introduction. Make sure they start with the content one. Yeah. So you can see there at least 2 to 3 sentences. Set the content given. Explain. Remember, content point 1. Explanation, elaborate, and examples. Go to the next one. Explanation. Content point 2. Explanation, elaborate, and examples. Content 3. Same. And then make sure you also teach your student about the cohesive devices connectors. I think all the Form 4 and Form 5 teachers will know this, and I think Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 also. I think you have the idea of what I'm talking about. But make sure you remember that cohesive device versus connectors or high frequency connectors will determine the marks for the organization and also the language. So make sure all this is involved. All this is already in this particular essay planning. So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to try after this. Yeah. Okay. So any questions so far? No? Thank you, Nancy Ligging from Tambunan. Hi, Lily. So far, so good. Thank you very much. Okay. So we move on to the next one. Okay. Let's try. Are you ready, everyone? Are you ready to try? Okay. So imagine. Okay. Imagine. Okay. You can put yourself into what category? Maybe you are a weak student. Maybe the average one or the A. Okay, so you yourself put yourself in which category to answer this question. Okay, so this is the question and this is the template. Okay, imagine this is the question given to your student. All right. Okay, this is part 2, and usually basically this is the kind of question that is given in the exam, because in the previous first batch 2021 exam, this is the kind of question that is given to them. There will always be the first part there on top. Your class has been discussing about having homework given by teacher. Okay, your teacher has asked you to write an essay about that topic, and then in your essay, always remember. That is why I have the content 1, content 2, content 3, which usually will be given here. So your job is to make sure all of us have to make sure that our student will remember to do it. And that is why I designed this, because it really fits well into the question as how it is given in the real SPM examination. Okay, so let us try this question. And then I want everybody to take out a piece of paper. A piece of paper. Do you have any paper next to you? Yeah, okay, thank you, Madam Lily. And do you have a paper with you today? Okay, all right. Okay, start with a paper. Okay, you imagine yourself. Are you the weak student, average, or good student? Okay, because different type of student, they will give different example. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you, Siti Norzani Adek. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, let us try. Imagine. Okay, what kind of question you are? What kind of student are you? Are you a weak student? Imagine lah. Imagine. Okay, imagine. So, imagine that you are given this question. So, do you have a highlight there? Highlighter. So, usually what I ask my students so that they will remember, so that they will know what is the topic about. Somebody asked me that they don't know what they have to talk about, or they don't know what is it, what the title will be, or they don't know, student couldn't find what actually the main topic that is being discussed in the question. So this is what I usually ask my students to do, to prepare to have their own highlighter, and they usually will know what is the title by looking at the words about. There will always be about, or if in this question they already give you the title, which is it necessary for students to have homework? So you just teach your student to put that as the title, and then okay, basically a simple one. Okay, basically a simple one will have a layout like this. So can you try? Okay, I will. How long, Madam Moderator, we give them to write, and then after that they can share. You can actually share your answer on the wall group, or you can actually write it on a piece of paper, and then you will show it on your, on your screen. Yeah.
Around 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, can we? Yeah. If you have any questions so far, can you have it? If you have any question, you just ask me on the wall chat. Well, my comrades today are very sporting. Everybody just keep quiet. Okay. I know sometimes this you expect the student to start, right? But then for the very weak student, maybe for the first trial, okay, for the first trial of I plus 4Cs, you can help them by you can. I will share with you after this template if you're interested, and you can actually use it uh, for to try for your student, especially because now we are getting ready for the trial and also getting ready for the exam, right? So you can also copy if you want, all right? And then this one, you can just ask the student to fill in the blank by matching it to the question given. So you can see here the first part.
Just like part by part.
Yes. Okay. Anybody want to start? Okay. I think that's very interesting. Yeah. Uh, Madam Lily, why don't somebody share me your first paragraph? That is your introduction on the wall chat. Okay. Imagine if you're a good student, I think you don't need the template as I have used it here, as I have given here. Maybe you can use your own introduction for this particular question. What is your introduction for this particular question? Okay. But for students who are searching for a way to write, maybe in the beginning we can just give them this template. All right. Okay. Anybody share me your first paragraph? Anybody already have their chat there on the chat? Somebody already. What is homework when it is given? Very good. Hello. Yeah. Okay. What is homework when it is given? Maybe you can add in one more sentence there, Cheryl, so that it will fit into the first instruction given in I plus 4Cs, 2 to 3 sentences. Maybe this will make it quite short, isn't it? Maybe you can add in one more sentence there. And then I think you forgot your cohesive device or connectors. Maybe you should remind your student that they must have the uh, connectors or cohesive devices. Yeah, I think you have seen my instruction. I mentioned there you can start with recently, add in the setting there for your student to start. Okay, to make it more a more lively or more presentable intro. Okay, maybe you can. Okay, next. Any more example? Yeah, so far only Chala, very fast Chala. Chala, later on I will give you a present. Okay, for being the first person to share with me your answer. Okay, all right. Any more? Okay. Okay. Claim later, okay? Okay. Any more on the chat? All right. So far, is homework really necessary? Okay. Continue, Madam Nancy. Where is your cohesive devices? Cohesive device? 2 to 3 sentences at least as your introduction, because this one require you to write 125 to 150 words. So I think you should add in more 2 to 3 sentences for your introduction. But that is a very interesting opening. Good. I'm imagining you are my student, okay? And I'm imagining that this is what I'm going to say in the class. Okay. Okay, one more there. Yesterday, Madam Elsie, we discussed about why teachers need to give us homework. I do not agree that we should be given any homework. Wow, you disagree, isn't it? Okay, so that will be your stand. A good one. You have your connectors there, and then you have your what you discuss with your teacher, and then you give your stand there. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Second, let us go to the second paragraph. Yeah, let us go to the second paragraph. Okay, second paragraph. All right, second paragraph. Let us try second paragraph. Okay, remember, okay. Now, you must always remind your student that they must have cohesive devices in their essay. Cohesive devices or connected. And you have to explain to your student that cohesive devices will help you to get higher marks for your organization, whereas compared to connectors. Okay, so cohesive devices usually those words like the first reason is, first of all, first and foremost, whereas this connectors usually is first, next, then those is simple and direct to the point. And also you have to remind your student, okay? Now, for your good student, try to remind them that the introduction, try as much as they can to find other way of presenting. This is only for the good student, yeah? Other way of other way to present the introduction part that is not really using the words given in the question itself. Because if the student use this question as the opening, that is already that is considered as straightforward because they are um, copying what is given in the question without changing any of it, and that shows that they are not having enough vocabulary that is related to the topic given. So for a weak student, maybe you can just let them explain to them that change this. My class, your class will be my class, has been discussing about having homework given by teachers. And my teacher has asked me, okay, teach them that so that they can just use that to put into the template itself. Yeah. So just now somebody mentioned about the student couldn't start their essay. So basically, I think I plus post-its will help the student to start the introduction part. And usually the rest, if they already can understand how I plus post-its work, they will be able to somehow at the end, they will be able to put a first content in one paragraph, second content, third content, and conclusion into the right paragraph. So at the end of the day, you will be able, your student will be able to have a presentable essay like the one in the template given here. So second paragraph also the same. You just teach your student to put this as the first content point. So imagine just now talk about having homework. So they can say, firstly, first of all, okay. And if you disagree, then you just start with, first of all, there are advantages and disadvantages of having homework. Then teach your student to do the explanation related to the content point. I think this one, you will be able to help your student as you go through. And then teach your student to at least have the example or examples. It depends on the question. If you have the advantages, meaning that the student needs to put up at least more than one advantage. Okay, except also disadvantages. So make sure you remind your student about that. How? Use highlighter. Always remind your student to highlight this content point and make sure after they have put it into the paragraph, they will put a tick there so that they will not have, they will not repeat it, or they will not sort of like miss that point, because missing of any three of these will be like this. It will be affecting the content point. Miss one point, they will only get 3, and miss another one, they will go to the next level of band, marking band. Okay, so make sure that is why I plus post is very, I think very suitable to teach students so that they will remember to put that into the paragraph given. So for those of you who have mentioned just now that you have problem in helping your student to start writing, I think if you look at the template, somehow I think will be able, when you go back today, I think you will be able to start using it for your student to come up with part 2. Because you know what? Part 1 is quite easy because it's only 80 words. Whereas part 2, you have 125 and 150. And this usually is the between going to A and between going to the higher score and from the lower score to the next score. So I think you must pay attention to part 2. You must make sure that your student can get enough marks here that can help them to come up with or to obtain higher score in the next exam. Because you see, if they don't have enough point here, if you don't pay attention to this, they will have problems with part 3 because part 3 it is more complicated. If especially if they like to answer story question. But then when you have I plus 40, you will be able to somehow work into the 3 paragraph for the content point. So always remind your students. So let me see next one. Anybody want to share me your second content point? Give reason. Okay, give reason. What about give reason, everyone? Okay, give reason. What do you think the best way for the second content point? Oh, sorry. The first content point. Yes, first content point. What do you think we should? How do you think we should write for the second content point? Okay, second content point. You see there, the second reason, or in this case here, this is not the second reason. It's the reason. Okay, so meaning that this template you can actually use it according to. I think. Do you agree or disagree, Nancy? Nance, do you agree or disagree with this? Maybe in the case of Madam Elsie, maybe she will continue by saying, by giving a reason that leads into her disagreement for the student to have a homework. Okay, so yeah, first and foremost, writing essay in class together with fellow classmates will be so much fun. Okay, but just now you disagree having homework. Oh, means you don't want to have a homework alone. Is it, Madam Elsie? You don't want to do it alone. You want to do it with friends, like that. Is it, Madam Elsie? Okay. Okay. Secondly, by finishing all work given by teachers in school at home, I can have all the time to indulge myself playing games. Wow, that's nice. That's very interesting answers. Yeah, congratulations. You have your cohesive device there first and foremost. And then you also have the word because. Okay, very good. And then you also have secondly there. Now remember, okay, in marking, if you want to get a good mark, you make sure that you only, if for organization, you don't mix cohesive devices and connectors, because that will put you in the next band of mark. Because if you want to use, for example, like cohesive devices are examples like first and foremost, in addition, furthermore, all these words. Whereas connectors is those words you say first, next, then. Okay. So if you only have cohesive devices there, that's no problem because you get higher marks. But then if you mix it, it will go to the next one. If you only have connectors, you only have first, second, third, that one will give you to average marks. That is usually 3 marks for that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. First of all, homework can help us strengthen our understanding understanding in the lesson we learn in class. Remember, okay, Lily, remember next time, okay? Remember, okay? Don't forget that. Ken, Nancy, 9. Can we disagree? Because the question there is it necessary for students to have homework? This one is depending on your stand, isn't it? They can actually disagree because there is a question there. Is it necessary for students to have homework? If you disagree, you must give your reasons, right? So advantages, disadvantages, maybe you can outweigh the disadvantages if you want to make the teacher agree with your reason of disagreeing to the topic, isn't it? Right? Okay. So, Ken, make sure you give me your good reason for that, okay? So let me see your reason then, Nancy. Let me see your reason. Okay, Siti Amalina. First of all, the phrase practice makes perfect is for a reason. Wow, that's very good. Having homework is part and parcel of becoming a student. Maybe Nancy, where are you, my beloved student? Nancy, can you help me to read? Siti Amalina, write something there on the chat. Could you please help me to read? You like to read, right? Okay. Nancy, sound please.
First of all, the phrase practice makes perfect exists for a reason. Having
Very good.
homework is part and parcel of becoming a student. Without practice, anything learned from school will be fleeting and unimportant.
Wow.
Imagine learning about fraction from maths in school without practicing it at home. When exam is around the corner, we won't be able to implement it, let alone using it in the real world.
Wow, very good. Okay, so is Aloy still here? Aloy, help me to give marks for this. What do you think? Imagine you are the examiner and you have this kind of writing from your student. What will you give for this mark for this writing? What do you think you will give?
Sorry, Lily, it was breaking up, so I couldn't really hear
I see.
clearly.
Lolin. Okay, Lolin. Later on, I think LC can be the weak student because she doesn't want to write. She just want to play games. She likes to collaborate only with friends. Okay, so later on we ask her to answer me. Okay, so yeah, I will ask Teacher Lily to for token. Yes, Nancy, I will give you a token later on. You make sure you ask me about it. Remind me about it. Lolin. Lolin. Okay, help me to give marks since Aloy signal is not really good. So maybe you can help me. Look at the one on top just now. Oh, very good. All the fantastic sentence. And what do you think you will give for this one? If you are a teacher to Siti Amalina, what marks you will give to her? Imagine she will write like this from beginning until the end. Siti Amalina, we will go to that later on, okay? Don't worry. We just try the hands-on first, okay? Yeah, we are waiting for teacher Lolin to give the mark for your writing. 5544, yay! Do you know the full mark for each of the essay is 20? So meaning that this person gained 18 marks. Very good. Okay, let us go to the next one. Reason. Okay, anybody? Siti Amalina? Oh, very good writing, Amalina. So make sure your student can write like that, okay, so that they will get that mark, okay? So the content point is there, the elaboration is there, and the example is there. That is what we want the student to remember doing. Not merely just giving the content point, but they must explain it. If they're good, they can elaborate and give example. So it will be a process of writing that can get more marks. Okay. So yeah. All right. Okay. So now let us see what about the ending? Now, state your point of view. What do you think about it? After you have given all the advantages, disadvantages, and your reason, your point of view as your third part there. Or sometimes some students, they will just combine this final, state your point of view into one as the conclusion part. Okay, but I don't really want my student to do this because this is still considered as a point there. So if you combine it with your if you combine it with your ending, or if you combine it with your conclusion, it is already maybe sometimes it will not be really clear of whether it is just to sum up the essay itself, or is it the point itself. So in this part, it will give a problem to the examiner, because they have to really read what you are writing about, and then they will have to find whether you are setting your point of view, or you just put down it as the ending. Okay, so let's see. Victor, I'm not agree. Homework no good. Waste my time. Okay, in this case, you can still get the mark because I can still understand you, isn't it? I can still understand that you disagree. Okay, and then it's a waste of time, isn't it? You will still have a point there where you it's still considered as reason. Okay, so you say homework no good, waste my time. So there are reasons there. That is, it's not good because it is a waste of time. But then I will cut your mark for your organization because you don't have your cohesive device there or connected. That is to continue. Maybe you can say furthermore. You use furthermore, or you can just use text. And then your language. Okay, it is what do you call this? What do you call this when it is not really convey? Meaning is convey, but meaning comes through, isn't it? Is it comes through? And then we still give marks for the content point, but we will give a lower mark for the language and also the organization here. Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Teacher Lolin. Coherence, cohesiveness. Thank you very much. Okay, so we got the three. Okay, set your point of view. Okay, yeah, already. Nancy already gave me. Okay, what about the ending? What's supposed to be in your ending? So if you look at my notes just now for your ending, okay, let us just look at for your ending. What you have to remind your student for your ending, you must make sure your student have at least 2 to 3 sentences, okay? And then restate, meaning that restate the task statement, that is to sum up or in conclusion. If the student in the beginning say that he or she disagree or disagree, this student must restate the task statement by giving opinion, the comment, and hope. And the student they don't really have to explain again, rewrite again whatever it is already given above. They can just say from the above discussion or from the examples from the opinion I've given above, we cannot deny that, and then the student will continue the comment, the hope. I hope in the future I will be able to. Okay, this is the thing that you must teach your student. So now you can see here what is happening here is I plus 4Cs give you the template to write to help your student. So depends to your student whether there are good students, they are the weak students, how weak they are. Are they the GL, guarantee lulus? Are they the potensi lulus? Or are they the ICU? Okay, it reminds me of Inci Anwar that they talk about the head count. For the gagal one, they have the three types of gagal. So if you consider your student a gagal one, okay, a gagal one, then you have to determine whether your student two, they are the GL, the PL, or the ICU. So then you work out from there what kind of activities you will have, but make sure you use the I plus 4Cs template. Yeah. Okay. So I have examples there written by Okay, let us look at. Okay, let us just go. Okay, Jennifer, Annie, you mentioned about recently. Okay, why don't? Let me see the participants today who are there that can help me to. Oh, I want to hear a guy voice. So the first name that appear on my wall is Abdullah. Habr. Sorry, I don't really get your full name there just now. Can you help me to read? Whose answer was that? Answer given by Jennifer Annie. Yes. Can you, Abdullah? Can you help me to read? Imagine you are the average student. So you help me to read, please.
Lily, I help you.
Okay. Thank you, Loy. All right.
I just have to read, Bakan.
Yes, you just read.
Recently, I have discussed about advantages and disadvantages of having homework with my classmates. I agree that having homework is necessary for students because it helps students to test their knowledge about what they have learned in school. Besides, it helps students to check either their work is on the right track or not. Not only that, it will help teachers to use our homework as our PBD assessment.
All right. Thank you, Aloy. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So if you look at the answers, okay, first thing that popped on my mind is that you don't have the paragraph, right? You don't have the paragraph, number one. And paragraphing is very important. So remind your students, paragraphing is very important for part two. For part one, paragraphing is not, student with no paragraph will not be penalized, okay? But then for part two and part three, paragraphing is very important, yeah? And then, as I mentioned just now, a student write like this, you can still get the content, no problem of that. However, that is why you have I plus 4Cs. I plus 4Cs help you to put that one paragraph you have into 5 paragraphs. So first paragraph, recently I have discussed about have advantages and disadvantages of having homework with my classmates. And then you have there also, you mentioned there, I agree that having homework is necessary. Okay, so that one, I agree that having homework is necessary for students. Remind your student that one can be in the first paragraph because that is the introduction part. And then teach them to put the content one into the first paragraph. So this, I think, because it helps student that one, I think the advantages, right? Advantages, it helps students to test their knowledge about what they have learned in school. And then the next one is besides, it helps students to check either they work on the right track or not. So that one is already advantages, right? Not only that, it will help teachers to use, okay, that's all just only the advantages only. Now, you can actually put content point one into two contents, actually, into two paragraphs, actually. There is no problem of that. What I'm trying to say is that the 5 paragraph is just a basic. 5 paragraph is just a basic. The 3 paragraphs, the content 1, content 2, content 3, you can actually kasih beranak there. You can actually put it into 2 paragraphs for one content 1, another 2 paragraphs for content 2, and another 2 paragraphs for it is actually very lenient. It is just I put it into 5 paragraphs because I think the best layout is 5 paragraphs. Yeah. So okay, so maybe very fast, Nancy, can you help me? Another perfume, habislah bankrupt like this. Okay, so all right. Okay, what marks will you give this? There, my answer, Madam Lolin, the weak what? This is not weak like that. That is not weak. For my category of weak, this is not weak. Because you have all the point there. You have your cohesive device there. Not only that, besides, so you are not basic, Jennifer. You are not basic student. Okay. So maybe who can help me to give marks? Who want to try to give marks for this one? Lily also, homework gives students another. Okay, where is your cohesive device, Lily? How many times I have to tell you? Whenever you
This is
start
just
your
conclusion.
paragraph, you
Conclusion.
must always have cohesive devices. If you want to use cohesive devices, you can use connectors. So which one are you? Don't forget, okay? Yeah, now I'm scolding you because you forgot again and again and again. Okay. All right. So, okay, very good. Last three. Okay, that is your ending, right? That is your uh, conclusion. So remember to write what is the word you can use to conclude your essay. What you can use in yes, in conclusion. Yes, in conclusion. Yeah. Okay. For this one, I want to help Jennifer Annie again. Okay. Who can help me to give mark for this one? What do you think mark we can give to Jennifer Annie? Maybe Wina, maybe you can help me. Yes, in addition. Okay, this is already the ending. In addition, SMK Sacred Heart Cebu. Wow. Okay, this is which one do you want to refer to? Is it content one, or content two, or content three? Yes, can content three. You can say in addition. Yeah. Okay. In addition, and then if you are referring to your conclusion, then you can just say in conclusion. In addition, content, yes, in addition, yes, can. Yeah, content three, you can add in there in addition. Yeah, for your cohesive device. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So far, so good. So now, do you think, I want to ask you, do you think this is good? Do you think I plus 4Cs will help your students? Do you think they can help your students? Write down your answer. Yes. Okay, 50. Norizwani. Yes. Very good. Yes. I don't pay you to answer this, I hope you will really use it in your class so that your student will be able to practice to use this, okay, to do a practical on how to use the template. Maybe you can start with the template first, and as you go through, as the student can now get right better, then they can change the template by you can just omit those sentences. Maybe you will just give them empty paper without using the template. So in the beginning, you use the template. After that, then you give them the question only, and then an A4 paper for them to write without the template. So that's how you see the progress of your student, whether they can write independently at the end, or they will still have to use the template in their writing. And I hope that as you go through, it will be able to help your student to write better. Yeah. Okay. So let me see if any more question there. So what's the answers? We have to release. Yeah. Yes, LC, to sum up, very good. I would like to stress further that all good. To sum up, I would remember capital letters, yeah. LC, don't forget capital letters, you will when the marks will be run down for your language, yeah. Okay, I would like to stress, very good, your ending part. Okay, I still remember just now I asked somebody to help me give marks for Jennifer Annie before I go to the next sharing, the next slide. I think we have enough of these examples of writing, isn't it? I think everybody can get the idea already. It's actually very simple, isn't it? But maybe because we don't really we don't really put it like this, that make us think that this cannot be done, right? That is why put yourself into a very weak student shoe, and try to imagine a student who cannot write at all. They need a basic template like this. We must put ourselves into their shoe, that some students are just very weak. So we need to give them something like this. Okay, so anybody can help me? What's the marks again? We have to, yes, for week one, I would suggest you to put the 2 types of intro writing too. Yes, correct, Teacher Lolin. Yes, Macam saya lah, weak student. Yeah. Capital letters, and right after each CD, we must put a comma. Yes, yes, Nancy. Yes, very good. Thank you for reminding me of that. You're very good student. Okay, so any question? Okay, so we have actually have done it, even though it's a very short, what is it? A short sharing with all of you. But I think you get the basic idea, isn't it? We can actually talk for hours about this, but then what is very important is that you have the idea that some student out there, they just cannot start writing. It's not because they don't know about it, but they need some kind of like a guideline. They need that kind of thing so that they can start their first sentence. And once they begin that first sentence, I am very sure they will be able to write better in the future. Okay. So any questions so far before I go to the next slide? How is it? How do you find the template so far? Anything that you want me to ask to answer? Any? Oh, thank you, Teacher Lolin, with sharing. Okay, so come on, give me some comment before I proceed to my sharing of how I did it to my student in class, where writing is no longer a boring session with my students. I think because I have insert the what is it, the modern technology kind of digital media presentation in my class, that nowadays students are waiting for my writing. It's not because it is not because of the writing itself only, but it's because they will have fun. And that is the thing that I want to remind everyone. Writing, of course, many people would agree with me, in the olden days, writing can be very boring because some students, they cannot write, and then they have problems of starting and all that. But then I think if you insert a little bit of an element like this, plus with the digital presentation, they can do wonders in the future. Thank you. Yes. Yes, it is. It must be 3 contents only. Okay, Siti Amalina, because there will only be 3 usually. They will only usually. Okay, I don't want to say confirm only 3 contents, but if you look into my sharing just now, usually there will always be these 3 bullets here. 3 bullets. Okay. So far I haven't seen 4 bullets yet. There must be. It might be given this coming. I don't want to say anything about it. But then, usually it is like this. There will always be 3 content to cover. What I meant with just now, that you can write more, is the paragraph. You can write this into 2 paragraphs. You can write this into 2 paragraphs if you want. You can write this into 2 paragraphs if you want. But why do you want to write that much if it's already only one thing there that you have to elaborate, explain, and also give example, isn't it? And moreover, you must remember it's only 125 to 150. So please cover the content given, because there is no extra marks here for content that is not in the question itself. The examiner will not give marks for any extra unless there is some kind of like an additional information or additional instruction there. Give extra like that. But then if there is none, this will be the only content that will be given marks. Okay, so I hope I answer your question, Siti Amalina. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Since the question asked, and this, what is the best way to write it out, for example? Yeah, I think you can actually write it into 1 paragraph, doesn't matter actually, or you can put it into 2 paragraphs, doesn't matter, because as long as there is a paragraph for this part 2 and part 3 paragraph, because for part 2 and part 3, it is paragraphing is very important for the assessment scales. Okay, so if you can see here, the content is these 3, unless there is a parameters mentioned in the question, in the marking for this particular question, there will be additional content point for the content part. But if not, it will be just these 3. These 3 things will be considered as the 5 marks. As long as the student mention this, 1 mark, this 1 mark, this 1 mark, 5 marks. Okay, and then communicative achievement is how is it fulfill? Does it fulfill the criteria that the format given? How about the organization? Does it use cohesive devices, or is it a mix of connectors and also the language? Okay, so yeah, I think still need to give both point advantages and this. Yes, yeah, correct. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You can put it into two paragraph. You don't, because the question here is advantages and disadvantages. So meaning that if you don't give disadvantages, no marks for you. Okay, there is no half marks. So this will be considered as target reader, not, what is that again? A target reader not wholly informed, if not mistaken, meaning that you would only answer advantages, but you don't really answer disadvantages. So you will go to the next band. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Please ask at least. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Teacher Lalin. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So this is the marking band. I will go to the next one very fast. So this is the marking band. I don't really have to discuss this because if you are a Form 4 and Form 5 teachers, and also I think if you concentrating on marking for your Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, I think basically it will always be like this. So the content point, the full mark is 5, from 0 to 5. Yeah. So you can see that I don't really have to explain that because I want to share how I make my writing fun in class. Okay, how I make my writing fun in class. I think enough already of that, everyone. Have you enjoyed my introduction and hands-on I+ tips today? I want to get the answer from everyone. Please, yeah. Yes, thank you, Ade. Okay. Okay. Because I want to share you how you make it more. You can make it more interesting. Yeah. Okay. At least 3 people respond to me. Yes, it's a very good sharing. Thank you, Linda. Okay, thank you. Wow, love it. Mwah. Very good. Okay, so right. So the finding and outcomes. Okay, in the beginning, of course, as I mentioned earlier, I said this actually my kajian tindakan, a very kampung-kampung kajian tindakan. But then I developed it from 2015 to 2020. And now here I am sharing to everyone about how wonderful is I+ Courses, and I feel so grateful for this opportunity. So let us look at the finding and outcome. Okay, so this is the pre-test and post-test. Of course, in the beginning, this is the marks, and then this is the paper 2 marks. Yeah, I mean this that one. Okay, we just go through it. Okay, next. Okay, so if you see my results, this is the peperiksaan pertengahan tahun. I have 4 classes there, and then this is the peperiksaan terkini. Okay, terkini. I hope it will be better in the real exam. Amen. Okay, I hope my student will achieve greater than this. But for the time being, I'm very thankful because they are getting better in their results. So you can see that. Okay, all right. 4 classes with the achievement. Okay. And then how I make it fun. Yes. So like this, I put it into a TikTok presentation where they can write like this in a form of template, and then they have to color it. I think, Madam Lily, did you have your So you see, this is how they present it. They divide it into paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and there's actually one more there below. A conclusion, this one you need to open. Konon lah, my student said, you need to open teacher so that you will be able to see what's my conclusion. So I cannot open it today, but basically this is the presentation given. And it's really aligned with the Form 4 textbook, where in the Form 4 textbook, if you look into the instruction given, for example, like writing a firm review, it is mentioned that they must have the introduction. So I+ Courses have instruction, at least two paragraphs, but then I want my students to have 3 paragraphs because the question itself has 3 paragraphs that you need, 3 content points that you need to fulfill. So I don't want my students to to write it into 2 paragraphs, but I told them they must write into 3 paragraphs. Okay, so that they will be able to identify content 1, content 2, content 3. Okay, and then the conclusion. So if you see, it really fits the CFR new format, aligned with the CFR new form for textbook. So tiada ajaran sesat, okay, Madam Lolin, tiada ajaran sesat from me. Okay, and this is some students, they said, teacher, I don't want to write. I already write, but I want to present to you in a form of a TikTok app. So this is the one.
Hello. So today I'm going to present my movie review regarding to a technique called I plus 4Cs, which is 1 introduction, 3 contents, and 1 conclusion.
Okay, thank you.
Now I made a leaflet about it, as you can see.
Okay. So you see here, the student mentioned, because I told them, I said, when you present, make sure you mention my name, make sure that, okay, I write it like this, this, because I want them in the future when they want to revise their lesson, they will be able to use the TikTok video as their way of revision. Okay, so it's already mentioned, when I write, I do this, I do this, I do this, so that they will remember it forever. So this is another example, how they present their work. I don't really have to look at it. Next. Okay, these are some of the film review given by my students. Very interesting, isn't it? Students can write a review, but following I plus 40. Let us look at it. See, it mentioned there, movie review by teacher Lily Natasha.
Avengers: Infinity War is a 2018 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team, the Avengers. This movie is produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. This film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Next. Okay, this one I want to share you how I use. Next slide. How I use. Okay, next slide. Now, this is some of the example. Okay, I don't really have to show you everything.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad bin Awang Suhaizam and I'm from 4 Science Schooling. So today I write an essay about a movie review using the I plus.
You see, my name is there because that is compulsory. Mesti ada nama teacher Lily Natasha. Okay, next slide please. I want to show you how I use it. Yes, okay, this one. Okay, to see, reduce it first. 1 minute for to explain. Okay, now if you see just now, I've already told you that I want let my student do their TikTok video app sharing, and then after that I said, and make sure you have my name there, blah 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 blah. And then what I do with it is I use it as my writing. Teaching of writing lesson in class. I reuse that, I share it on the work group, and then I let students present it again, what they have to do and what they think about it from the topic that I have mentioned in the review, from the movie that I have mentioned. They tell me about the moral values, because that one, I think recently we have been asked to make sure that we instill moral value in our lesson, isn't it? So this is one of the moral values, or the the civic literacy that students can come up with, and then at the same time they will use it as their lesson study, so that it is like killing 3 birds in 1 stone. Okay, so you have writing, your presentation, and then you have class discussion.
Hello and Assalamualaikum.
This one, the center, how I teach in class. Yes, that's the video, that's the TikTok video.
So what is this movie I'm talking about? The movie I'm talking about is actually 2009 award-winning animation movie, Up.
All his life, Carl Fredrickson dreamed of adventure. Today, his adventure is finally taking off.
Okay. Because after they have presented it, I asked them, the person who is presenting, whose video, TikTok video is selected, will then tell me what actually they think about their presentation, what actually the lesson of that movie. So the rest will be giving their ideas. So that it will be a very interactive writing lesson. So now you can see that writing lesson that used to be boring is now very interesting to teach because students have learned all this basic knowledge of writing. Now they are preparing themselves to write, to gain the marks and have fun. Yeah. So the conclusion of this, yes. So it's a user-friendly instruction set, low or no cost of budget at all, fun writing and stress-free. Okay, boost independence, writing is made easy. Okay, so yeah. And one note from me, one last slide. Yes, if a child can learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. With that, I end my session. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Natasha, for such fun and interesting. And I think everybody have fun, right? Stimulating hands-on sessions. So I hope everyone learned from the presentation just now. And I hope that everyone can apply that in their class. Okay, maybe we can do follow-up next time. Okay. So, okay, before we leave for today, before we end these sessions, okay, please complete the and the attendance to the link shared. Yeah, I think it's already been shared in the chat group. So please fill it up, and then e-sigil will be given. Okay, the e-certificate will be given. Okay, through your email. And for next week, okay, we will have CDL 13 series part 2, computational thinking. Okay, which will be delivered by our Juara digital teachers. Just to remind all of you, yeah, these sessions is to help prepare teachers to get ready for computational thinking educator championships. So teachers, do promote these sessions to your friends, yeah, and don't forget to join us again next week. So we'll see you again in the next sessions. Have a good day, everyone, and selamat mengundi. Have a long weekend. Enjoy your long weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay, teachers, open the video, please. Open the camera.
Please. Yeah.
Let's take picture with Lily, Natasha, and Lily Sintum. Both of them Lilies.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Lilies today.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Madam Belly.
Thank
Madam
you.
Bell pun ada. Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Such a great crowd.
Okay, take picture, take picture.
Okey, cikgu-cikgu, senyum. Saya ambil first page ya. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3. Next page lagi. 1, 2, 3. Last page. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great job. Great job.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Great job to Lilies.
Thank you.